This is property of Sonny Shaw, and it's a nice one. Now then, I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to try to get this up. It's going off. I just put a video up, but it's all messed up. Let me say this. I have lived in slum, lived on the Appalachian Trail, frozen, starved because of who I am. I was kidnapped in 41, brought to Moulton, Alabama from Buckingham Palace. And I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and my father's name is Edward VIII. And if I'm garbled, that's why I'm putting this up. My father, King Edward VIII, was never married to Wallis Simpson. She married a double in 1937. And the United States installed my Uncle George, Elizabeth's father, which is an illegal lineage. They're war criminals and should be treated as such. But anyway, my father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, artist, the sister, baby sister to artist Georgia O'Keeffe, an American from Madison, Wisconsin. My mother was a school teacher, and if I'm being redundant, I want you to hear what this does to me. Besides, it could kill me. I'd be brain dead again, which almost happened April Fool's Day of 80. I usually put up Larry Flint's picture where he did an article on me in Hustler magazine. I was writing about mind control murders in 1978. I didn't know about my kidnapping and my real name. And he was shot. I had worked for doctors, and they were doing program shootings and killings. It wasn't just shootings. You can kill in different ways. You can make them appear to commit suicide like Robin Williams did. There's lists of them, lists of people that died, and I put it up. What was her name? I'll forget her name. I wish I could think of it right now, and I can't. When I worked at the district attorney's office, Fred Simpson, after that almost killed me April Fool's Day of 80. This is in May. She came to where I was living, and it was so hard because I should have died and had antifreeze put in me. And illegally taken across state line to work for Fred Simpson. And today, by the way, if I can keep it together here with what's being done to me, Simpson, O.J. is coming up for parole. O.J., I've told it since way back, was one of the program shooters. His name, the Simpson, and all of that scenario fits into the patterns, and they can be proven. It's kind of odd that this is happening to me and the whole situation. I don't know if I live or not, but he's up for parole. He was programmed. It's the name Simpson and O.J. And I'm going to insert this here. The FBI had a letter when I was doing the book in 1978, and it was issued from the FBI June the 23rd, 1979. And then I go on to have antifreeze put in me across the state line working for Fred Simpson. By the way, John Lennon was shot by Mark David Chapman, a program shooter. And the former governor of Minnesota, Jesse Ventura, I don't know how he got his, because these are associated with me. That I know. Everybody wouldn't have the key to it. But he said that John Lennon was shot and Mark David Chapman was programmed, and that's true. Now, don't let me vary. I want to get back to this that's happening to me now. My husband, he was CIA, it's my understanding. He's supposed to be deceased. But I can't think. This is what it does to me, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll see what I mean. So I can't even think of what I was going to say. Anyway, let me get up what I can. Carnwright was Marshal back in 1978 that my husband introduced me to, a U.S. Marshal. Now then, all this has happened, and I'm up here living on the Appalachian Trail. I was out at Larry Flint's in a campaign in 1983. I'd never met him, but I knew he was a program shooter that shot him. He flew me out there when the KAL went down with one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, congressman, doctor. I wrote about the plane KAL was shot down by the Russians when it veered into their airspace. So I met Mr. Flint. He furnished me a car for a year, and I was telling about mind control murders. And Virginia Tech was one of them. And Robin Williams was killed with mind control. It's an invisible weapon. How do you prove it? The ones I've spoken of, you can prove. They were done in patterns and deliberately. And the FBI told me at one point when I was back there, they said, they yawned, pretend to, or he did. He said, you know what they do with what you're telling? It bores them until they find out how it affects them. Now I'm going to mention when I had the Hustler car, Larry Flint car. Didn't have any money. I was pumping gas in grottos at Philip Reineke's Exxon station, and for a living and a place to live. And he, Noe was an FBI agent that came in. He was retired, and come to find out, I remember meeting him with my husband in about 1963, maybe 62. My husband was CIA, I'm told, but he worked for Brown Engineering, and so did Noe, and he's a federal agent too, FBI agent. But there was a picture taken, and he was there with us. And now and then, all this time later, this is in 84, 85, he's coming in grottos getting gas. And he's retired. And he comes back there and he tells me, I'd gotten to kind of know him then, but I couldn't remember where I'd seen him till later. He comes in and takes me back. No, it wasn't me that went in the back. It was the daughter, Wilma, that went in the back because people run from it. And they hate the messenger, me. No, he said, you know what? No. See, this is what I'm allergic to chemicals, and I've been force-fed them and run from one place to the other and telling about it on YouTube and showing papers and documents, and it hasn't stopped yet, and it won't till I'm dead, I suppose. But he said, you know what? He's talking about the FBI. They've made it so ludicrous that people know what you're talking about and telling, but it gives them the chance to help you or walk away. Well, they don't walk, they run. So this mind control murder. So I've just told you who's responsible for it, but really it's the Illuminati that's doing the whole mess. The Rockefellers, your government that's sitting up there in Congress. Why aren't they telling you this and about my kidnapping and the takedown of my father and other leaders? And they're questioning Sessions, or they're questioning Trump, and I don't know which side Trump's on. I hope he's the good guy. But Sessions is from Alabama, and I thought he was a good guy. I don't know. If he is, why hasn't he told about all that's been done to me? But anyway, I had a picture I put up because I've been running from place to place using toxic fumes. And my money runs out, what little I get, and there isn't anybody that doesn't know about it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off. If you want to look at the one I just put up or all of them, and it's on Facebook too, but I have two YouTubes because they tried to take down my YouTube account and Facebook's and phone. I'm going to say this. When I met Carnwright, my husband introduced me just before the antifreeze was put in me about a year before, and he used to tell me to go to telephone booths to call him. Back then, people thought he was, they didn't know he was U.S. Marshal. They thought that was his name, Marshal Carnwright. And anyway, he had a security office and all that. And he said, Martha Mitchell. He was talking about Martha Mitchell, Attorney Mitchell's wife, who they killed, who was murdered. So anyway, he was relating that kind of to me. But then, I don't know where my children are, the book I wrote and all that. I came up here, and because you get into who my dad is and the takedown of my dad and the lies and my kidnapping, there seems to be no one that can't be gotten to. In fact, the FBI get things on even local law enforcement, and they'll prosecute them, or they go along with them. And in this whole thing, I'm not saying that, I've told, everybody knows who's doing this. The FBI have probably kept me alive as long as I am. The British did as long as they could, but look what's happened to the Brits. The United States has invaded them, pretending to be friends. They installed my uncle. And I'm going to mention Janine Pereira on Fox, Judge Janine. was saying the same thing with a guest she had the other night. If the United States goes into other countries, they stir up trouble. If the leaders don't go along with them, like Shah of Iran, and I've said that a long time ago, they murdered him, they'll install their own that will go along with them. And that's what they did to my father, Edward VIII. They took him down with character assassination and lies. He didn't marry Wallace Simpson. She married a double. They installed George VI, my uncle, who's illegal, and Elizabeth. And now I'm going to go back to this because I want to tell this, and I'm going to stop. Because same thing, I've come here and Sonny Shaw owns this, and the Patels, who I have written about or told about on YouTube and Facebook because of their connections to the former governors here who are now senators in Congress and House of Representatives, who sit on the intelligence committees and judicial committees. All these people know about the mind control, about my kidnapping, my father, and not one of them tell the truth. Now, so I'm going to have to leave. This is owned by Shaw, and I didn't know it. I was in bad shape when I came here, and the cab driver told me a different name. When I got up here, Shaw owns it. I thought, oh my God, maybe it's over. I thought maybe this is all going to be over and told. And O.J. Simpson, by the way, was programmed. That's on today. But anyway, I'm getting confused again because it's really getting to me. I want to say this, and then I'm going to go. When I was out at just the place I was just run from, the man out there has role-played Marshall Carnwright and another marshal that was over at Affordable Inn in '09 when I was taken there by a state trooper, Virginia state trooper. I paid it, but they took me there. They paid the deposit. So this man has been there, they said, for a long, long time at Motel 6 in Travel behind McDonald's. He was there when I just left there, and he seems to be a friend. I don't know. His words to me were, they're cryptic, because I'm into this, so it's like sign language. I can decode it for you. My understanding is, you're sitting here, America, and you've allowed this to be done to me. I've never committed a crime. I'm a good soul. I don't know where my children are. I was a messenger trying to tell you what was being done to me and to some of your own people. Now then, this man has told me and that well, how do you phrase it? Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. That the Kim, I can't even say his name right now, from North Korea, that it will be bombed out near the Hawaiian Islands where it washes in and all of it comes into the coast there. So it will get hit. And then maybe you will wish that you had listened and maybe that you had not taken my money and made me beg and torture me and take my children and my country from me. I know you for who you are. I've lived among you and I've suffered while I watched you spend my money and what you did to me. And so, I don't know, this is what my understanding will happen. I guess we'll see.